Welcome to The Health Line, issues that shape our well-being. I'm your host, Dr. Andrea Ault-Brutus. In The Health Line, we provide engaging and informative content on the factors that shape our health and well-being, along with innovative insights that help us gain a better understanding of our ever-evolving, complex healthcare system. Today, I'm excited to have Brigitte Apostolakos, founder of Thrivewell Corporate, on our podcast. Brigitte is dedicated to transforming people and organizations through innovative stress reduction strategies and lifestyle changes. Brigitte has over 20 years of experience in wellness and mindfulness practices. She is a graduate of Functional Medicine Coaching Academy. She is a NBC HWC board certified health and wellness coach and is trained in positive intelligence, a leading program for executive and team coaching. Brigitte, welcome to The Health Line.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you here. So can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. I live on this island. I absolutely love living on Long Island. I grew up upstate. I'm a mom of 3 girls. I have a dog, a husband. As you mentioned, I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a health coach, and I just started this corporate wellness company, which I'm super excited about. I'm just, my whole life, absolutely passionate, all things wellness related.
Great. So we're so happy to have you here and to talk about all things wellness related, particularly about guided meditation. So how did you get into the field of guided meditation?
So guided meditation was a part of my, not only my yoga teacher training, but was also a part of my health coaching education. And I did it. I embraced it, but I didn't really understand the full power of it until an event happened. Quite tragic, that literally changed my life personally, professionally. And that event was on June 12, 2020. I was swimming in the pool with my kids. It's the middle of lockdown. I was enjoying, just putting a pause on my life. And one of my daughters came out of the pool saying her head felt like it was on fire. She then threw up and passed out. I rushed her to Huntington Hospital, where they, to their credit, imaged her brain, because I had no idea. Is this what COVID looks like? Is this dry drowning? And when they told me there's a brain bleed, that was the furthest thing I was possibly thinking of. They rushed her to Cohen's Children's Hospital into the hands of an incredible human and an incredibly gifted pediatric neurosurgeon, Dr. Mark Mittler, who explained that she had a very large arteriovenous malformation, something I'd never even heard of. And at that moment, it had ruptured. He had to basically take out most of her left cerebellum. To make a long story short, she underwent 5 different brain surgeries, procedures. She had a stroke in her medulla. It was as bad as you could possibly imagine. And when she began to recover, we had no idea what her deficits would be, what her life would look like. But he told me neuroplasticity favors the young, and her other areas of her brain could rewire. She could recover. And that's all I needed to hear. And I knew at that moment, my only job in the world is to make this child believe that she's going to run again. She's going to walk again, because at that moment, she had no use of the entire left side of her body. She couldn't speak. She couldn't handle her own secretions. She had a feeding tube. But I would whisper to her, sweetie, you will be walking, you will be running, you will be playing sports and laughing before you know it. And I would take her through these rather lengthy guided meditations of feel your feet touch cold grass, because I knew this was what was going to rewire her brain. And I'm happy to say miracles happen. If you met her today, you would not know. You would absolutely not know. She runs, she plays sports, she fights with her sister, she laughs, she's thriving. But what also became clear to me after I knew our prayers were answered was I was falling apart. And her siblings, quite frankly, were falling apart too. Her twin, she's 6, 7 years old at the time. Her twin is gone. Her mother is gone. Her oldest sister was in high school at the time, went from a straight A student to not being able to get on Zoom school. My family was a wreck, and I was a wreck. And I, again, had this moment of clarity that if I don't heal, I'm the rock, I'm the foundation for my family. Like, I've got to be able to heal to show them a path. So I dove deep into my background in yoga, in health coaching, and I realized that guided meditation is so powerful, but it's missing a link. And that link was breath work, because it's almost impossible to go from 100 miles per hour down to zero, right? We're busy. Our minds are racing. We're taking on so much. And you want me to sit and imagine I'm on a mountaintop with birds singing? Like, are you kidding me? And that was the missing link. So luckily, as a yoga instructor, I had a whole plethora of breath work. So I started to do that before I meditated. And that was the answer for me. And also, I began to add visualization after meditation. So that was my trifecta that worked, that became my quote-unquote method that I use personally and professionally now.
Well, first, thank you so much for sharing the story about your daughter and your family and about your own experience. And thankfully, so happy to hear that she's doing so much better now.
You.
Yes. And how old is your daughter and her twin now?
11.
11. Okay, great. So thankful that she's improved, and sounds like the family is hopefully doing.
We're in a good place.
Okay.
Like, we have some scars.
Yeah.
But we're in a great place.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that story. And again, so happy she's doing so much better.
Thank you.
And so you mentioned guided meditation, breath work, visualization. So it sounds like that's a part of your method. Can you tell us more about how you pull those three together in your method?
Absolutely. So it's important to note that I didn't invent anything. I've taken these time-tested, these science-backed, evidence-based tools, and I've put them together in a format that becomes very powerful. And the science behind it is this. Breath work is the key to controlling your nervous system. Breath work controls it because your diaphragm, when you slow down and slow belly breathe, diaphragm touches your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve is the boss of this autonomic nervous system, which is a very primitive system. It has two branches, fight or flight, known as sympathetic, or rest and repair, otherwise known as parasympathetic. So when your diaphragm touches your vagus nerve, it turns on the parasympathetic branch. From there, you can enter meditation. Meditation, what it does is slow down your brainwave pattern. So we go from like a gamma, beta brainwave pattern into a delta, theta, slower wave, which is the same brainwave pattern as deep sleep. So all the physical benefits that you get from deep sleep, repairing your cells, boosting your immune system, you get all those same benefits in a meditative state. From there, from delta theta, is the perfect time to visualize you're vibrating to that higher frequency and you're that much more open to neuroplasticity. What you think literally rewires your brain. So it's the perfect time to, maybe you want to lose old patterns or beliefs that no longer serve you, or maybe you're recovering from a stroke, whatever it is, what you see becomes what you believe. And another great example of this would be when you watch a scary movie, you have a visceral, physical reaction. Your heart rate increases. What you think, what you believe, has an immediate reaction in your body, your chemistry. So that is why those 3 tools are incredibly powerful. And when you put them together in this way, it's magic.
That sounds great. And it sounds like everybody could benefit from this tool. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And for all different types of circumstances, I'm guessing as well.
Yeah. I mean, I see people from, the facility that I teach at, to my private clients, to my corporate wellness clients, to just my friends. I mean, from college students that are freaking out over their grades. It's real. From stay-at-home moms that are just taking on too much, right? We all want to be president of the PTA and cook gourmet meals and be the best early childhood educator. We take on a lot. And also for anyone that has undergone any sort of a trauma, which the more I share my story, oh my gosh, we have no idea what people go through until you start to open up. But if you've ever been through trauma, your nervous system gets primed to be super hyper vigilant about noticing and responding to danger. So it becomes chronic stress, right? We believe there's danger lurking everywhere. And it's the same with just normal stress. If you experience it every single day of your life, your body will take that cue. Let's just stay in fight or flight. There must be danger lurking everywhere. So it's really helpful to get out, to break those patterns.
That's great. And the listeners of today's episode, I think they'll really benefit from just an example of this technique. Can you walk us through an example of what we could probably do for ourselves at home?
Absolutely. I'm going to try to make it quick for lack of time, but this is a very short abbreviated version. I'm going to put a little bit of ocean waves on. If you're home, if you want to stop this podcast and put on some soft, soothing music, that would work as well. So go ahead and find a comfortable position, whether you're sitting down or lying down. Find yourself in a comfortable position and then close your eyes. Take a moment to just feel the weight of your body touching whatever surfaces you're resting against. Begin to feel heavy and grounded. And then bring your attention to the parts of your body, your skin, that are touching air. And begin to feel the temperature and the texture, maybe weight of air touching you. Bring your attention to your breath. I'm going to guide you through a 4-7-8 breath. Empty your lungs. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relinquish counting or controlling your breath. Allow breath to find its rhythm as you begin to bring your attention to the center of your chest. Breathe a little slower and deeper than you normally would breathe, holding your attention to the center of your chest where your heart lies. Begin to imagine you're inhaling white light. Pull it in through your chest. And if you have a hard time visualizing, just hold your attention to the center of your chest blood flow energy will collect there. But if you can visualize, fill up with light. Bring it in through your heart and let it flood your entire torso. Let it swim down your legs and arms into your fingertips and toes. Let it rise into your face and head. And begin to notice every slow, deep inhale igniting this beautiful white light until it starts to glow past your physical body. Radiate light. Feel how amazing it feels to radiate light. In your mind's eye, begin to see the best version of you, whatever you look like physically as the best version of you, laughing, peaceful, living the best version of your life, engaging in activities that brings you joy, whatever projects you're working on, see them as already done, not as a wish, not as a dream, but as reality. Begin to connect with regenerative emotions this brings you, like joy, peace. Seal this in with gratitude. What are you most grateful for today? Slowly begin to open your eyes. That would be a very abbreviated version of this method.
That was so powerful and so relaxing, and it made me so full with gratitude. So although it was an abbreviated version, for me, it brought me to a peaceful place. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And I think for those who are listening, especially to our Hofstra students who are listening, I think this would be such a great technique to add to their toolbox as they start this semester or any given semester in the future, or start any new endeavor. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. And sometimes if you don't have time to do the whole thing, just placing your attention to your lower belly and deep belly breathing is a great tool to have. You can do it anytime, anywhere, 4-7-8.
Great, thank you. And you mentioned earlier that your background is in yoga, and I know that you do so many different things in the community. Can you tell us more about the services that you provide and the breathwork meditation classes that you offer?
Absolutely. I still remember my first yoga class, and it was a very long time ago. And I remember lying in Shavasana, which is the end of class, and I had this thought, I am going to do this for the rest of my life, because it was the first time I think the voices in my head quieted, for lack of a better explanation. And I didn't know it at the time, but yoga is a moving meditation. The difference between yoga and exercise is linking breath with movement. And when I linked my breath with my movement, I got out of my head and it was quiet and I was in a meditative state, and that was addictive to me. So I think I'll be teaching yoga, practicing yoga still for the rest of my life. And I do these group classes at a facility, and I do a breathwork meditation class there too. And it blows my mind, not only how well it's received, but just the different demographics that it attracts from every walk of life. And it makes me feel great.
Great. And so if people wanted to learn more about your services and they wanted to reach you, how can they best reach you?
Probably the best way would be through my website, which is www.thrivewellcorporate.com. And Thrivewell is THRIVEWELL corporate.com. Or if you wanted to look on LinkedIn, I think I might be the only Brigitte Apostolakos. I think that's a safe bet. And my last name is spelled Apostolakos.
Great, perfect. And I understand that your business tagline is turn stress into strength. And I personally have a lot of stress. So how can I turn that into strength?
Yes. So, okay, first it's important to note that stress isn't necessarily bad. The goal here is not to eliminate stress, because stress is necessary for any kind of improvement. Whether you want to build a business, raise a family, run a marathon, you need stress. The problem lies with lack of recovery. When you go to the gym and you lift weights, what you're actually doing, you're creating these little micro tears in your muscle. It is when you recover and those micro tears heal, that's when you build strength. That's why you need that rest day. If you didn't rest and you just lifted weights all day long every day, you would only injure yourself. And it's the same with mental or emotional stress. It's not that we are overstressed, it's we're under recovered. Allow yourself that time, that space. It's not selfish, it's not silly. Allow yourself recovery, because it's not what kills you doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. It's what you recover from that makes you stronger.
That's very powerful. And, so much emphasis is on self-care nowadays, which is great. So you kind of really made that argument as to why that self-care and that recovery is so vital. So thank you for sharing that with the audience. And thank you for being here on the podcast today. It's been such a pleasure having you and to help our listeners with managing their stress. And so really happy that we had you on the podcast today. Do you want to share your information one more time for the audience?
Thank you so much. Yes. And it's been my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me as a guest. Once again, it's Thrivewellcorporate.com.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brigitte, for visiting us here at the Healthline. And I hope this episode helps our listeners have a more mindful and just powerful year. So thank you to our entire audience for joining us on today's episode of the Healthline. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. And my name is Dr. Andrea Ault-Brutus, and have a great day. Thank you.